I came home to a gut punch. My sister, Tara, had cleaned out my safe. 10 grand, my life savings gone. She left a note. Borrowed it. Pay you back later. No call, no apology. Just her smug handwriting. I trusted her. I let her crash at my place. And she robbed me blind while I was at work. This betrayal cut deeper than anything I'd ever felt. I'm Ethan, 29, a warehouse supervisor in a small Ohio town. I'm not rich. That 10 grand was years of overtime, skipped vacations, and eating cheap noodles to save for a house. Tara, my younger sister, 25, has always been the family's free spirit. Mom calls her creative. I call her reckless. She's been jobless for months, couch surfing, chasing dreams of being an influencer. When she begged to stay with me, I said yes. She's family. I thought I was helping her get back on her feet. Big mistake. Tara didn't just crash at my place. She treated it like her personal Airbnb. She'd sleep till noon, leave dishes in the sink, and blast music while I dragged myself home from 12-hour shifts. I didn't mind too much. She's my sister. I figured she'd pull it together eventually. But then I noticed things. Small things. My spare change jar was lighter. My grocery budget stretched thinner. I brushed it off. Maybe I was miscounting. Then I checked my safe. The safe was hidden in my closet, behind a stack of old work boots. Only Tara knew about it. I kept it locked, but I'd shared the code with her once, during a dumb moment of trust when she needed cash for emergencies. That night, after a brutal shift, I opened it to add a few bucks. Empty. Just her note, mocking me. My stomach dropped. My hands shook. I called her. No answer. Texted her. Nothing. She was ghosting me. I sat on my couch, staring at that note, my anger boiling. 10 grand wasn't just money. It was my future. My escape from renting a cramped apartment. My shot at stability. Tara didn't just steal cash. She stole my hard-earned dreams. I wanted to scream, but I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who plans, who grinds, who fixes things. So, I started planning. She wasn't getting away with this. First, I checked her room. Tara's stuff was everywhere. Clothes, makeup, half-eaten snacks. Then I found it. A receipt, crumpled under her bed, from a high-end camera store. Dated yesterday. $9,000 for a camera and lenses. My money. My blood boiled. She didn't even try to hide it. She thought I'd just let this slide, like always. Not this time. I called my best friend, Nate, a guy who's seen me through every mess. She stole from you, he said, voice low with shock. Your own sister? Ethan, that's cold. He told me to confront her, but I knew Tara. She'd cry, play the victim, promise to pay me back in installments she'd never make. I'd heard it all before. Confronting her wouldn't get my money back. I needed something bigger, smarter. Then it hit me. Tara's whole life revolved around her online image. Her Instagram, her TikTok, she was obsessed with looking like a big shot. That camera was her ticket to content creator fame. She'd been posting teasers about a big project all week. I checked her socials. Sure enough, she'd posted a story from a coffee shop, posing with that shiny new camera, captioned, "Big things coming." My money flaunted in my face. I wasn't just mad. I was done. I started digging. Her laptop was open, logged into her accounts. I'm not proud of it, but I looked. Her email had a confirmation for a content creator workshop in Chicago, paid with my money. She'd booked a hotel, too. My savings were funding her fantasy life. I felt sick, but it gave me an idea. If Tara wanted to play influencer, I'd use that against her. I called the camera store, pretended to be Tara's assistant, said she'd made a mistake and needed to return the camera. The clerk was skeptical but said returns were possible within 7 days with the receipt. I had the receipt. I had a plan. But first, I needed to make sure Tara couldn't wiggle out of this. I needed proof she stole from me, something undeniable. I checked her room again. Under a pile of clothes, I found a notebook. Inside, in her messy scrawl, was a list. Camera, $9,000. Trip, $800. New outfits, $200. My money, itemized like a grocery list. At the bottom, she'd written, "Ethan won't notice for a while." My heart sank. She didn't just steal, she planned it, banking on my trust. That notebook was my ammunition. I took photos of the notebook, the receipt, everything. Then I called Nate again. "I'm not confronting her yet," I said. "I'm going to make her face the consequences." Nate laughed, nervous. "Man, you're scary when you're focused." I wasn't laughing. I was building a trap. Tara thought she'd played me. She had no idea I was about to flip the script. The next morning, Tara waltzed in, acting like nothing happened. "Hey, Ethan," she said, all smiles, sipping a coffee that probably cost more than my lunch. "You good?" I nodded, keeping my face neutral. "Yeah, just tired from work." She didn't ask about the safe, didn't mention the money, just went to her room, humming. She thought she'd gotten away with it. She was wrong. I had 48 hours before she left for her Chicago trip. I needed to act fast. My plan was simple but brutal. Get the camera back, expose her theft, and make sure she couldn't spin this as my fault. I wasn't just taking my money back. I was taking my life back. Tara had crossed a line, and I was done being her doormat. The clock was ticking. Tara's Chicago trip was tomorrow, and I had to move fast. My plan wasn't just about getting my money back. It was about making her feel the weight of what she'd done. I wasn't going to scream or beg. I was going to outsmart her. She thought she'd play me for a fool. I was about to show her I was 3 steps ahead. First, I needed that camera. It was the key. $9,000 of my savings, sitting in her room, probably still in its fancy box. I waited until she left for a quick errand that morning. She'd been vague about where she was going, but I didn't care. Her absence gave me a window. I slipped into her room, heart pounding. The camera was there, on her desk, next to a pile of new clothes with tags still on. My money, spent without a second thought. I grabbed the camera, the receipt, and her notebook. I wasn't stealing, I was reclaiming. I drove straight to the camera store, gripping the wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. The clerk, a bored guy named Mike, raised an eyebrow when I walked in. "You Tara's assistant?" he asked, remembering my call. I nodded, keeping my cool. "Yeah, she sent me to return this. Mistake purchase." I slid the receipt across the counter. Mike inspected the camera, checked the receipt, and shrugged. "Looks good. We'll process the refund to the original card." My stomach twisted. The card was mine. Tara had used my debit card, linked to the account where I kept my savings. She must have snooped when I left my wallet out. The refund would hit my account in 3 to 5 days. I thanked Mike and left, feeling a rush of relief. Step 1 done. Back home, I hid the notebook in my work bag. It was my insurance policy. If Tara tried to spin this, I had her own words proving she stole from me. But I wasn't done. I wanted her to face the consequences in front of everyone who'd enabled her. Our family, her friends, her precious online followers. She'd built a fantasy life on my dime. I was going to tear it down. I called our mom. She's always had a soft spot for Tara, calling her misunderstood. I didn't tell her everything. Not yet. "Mom, can you come over tonight?" I asked. "It's about Tara. It's important." She hesitated, then agreed. I texted our cousin Lila, who's close to Tara but has always been fair. "Family meeting, 7 p.m. Don't tell Tara." Lila was confused but said she'd be there. Then I got to work on Tara's socials. I'm not a hacker, but her laptop was still open, passwords saved. I logged into her Instagram. Her latest post was a selfie with the camera, captioned, "Ready for my big break." My jaw clenched. I didn't delete anything. That'd be too obvious. Instead, I drafted a post from her account, set to go live later. It was simple, made a mistake. Took money that wasn't mine. "I'm sorry." I scheduled it for 8 p.m. during the family meeting. Tara came home that afternoon, oblivious. "Hey, Ethan, you seen my camera?" she asked, casual as ever. I shrugged. "Nope. Maybe you left it somewhere?" Her eyes narrowed, but she didn't push it. She was too busy packing for Chicago, humming again, probably dreaming of her influencer fame. I kept my face blank, but inside, I was a furnace of rage and focus. By 6 p.m., Mom and Lila were at my place. Tara was in her room, getting ready for a pre-trip dinner with friends. I sat Mom and Lila down in the living room. "What's this about, Ethan?" Mom asked, worried. I took a deep breath. Tara stole 10 grand from me. My savings. She bought a camera, booked a trip, and planned it all behind my back. I showed them the notebook, the receipt photos, the bank statement showing the withdrawal. Mom's face crumpled. "No, she wouldn't," she whispered. Lila's eyes widened. "That's her handwriting," she said, pointing at the notebook. "Ethan, this is messed up." I nodded. "I got the camera back. Refund's processing. But she needs to know this isn't okay." Mom started crying, but Lila looked angry. "She's been lying to everyone," Lila said. "She told me she was saving up for that trip." At 7:30, I called Tara into the living room. She walked in, all smiles, then froze when she saw Mom and Lila. "What's going on?" she asked, voice sharp. I held up the notebook. "You took my savings, Tara. 10 grand. You planned it. Wrote it down. Used my card." Her face went pale. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Then the excuses started. "I was going to pay you back. It was just a loan." Mom cut her off. "A loan? You didn't ask him." Tara's eyes darted around, desperate. "Ethan, you're overreacting. It's just money. Just money." My years of grinding, reduced to her whim. I stayed calm. "You're right. It's just money. And I got it back. But you're going to explain this to everyone." Her phone pinged. The scheduled post had gone live. Her followers were seeing her confession right now. Tara grabbed her phone, eyes wide with panic. "What did you do?" she screamed, scrolling. Comments were already pouring in, Shock, anger, disappointment. Her carefully curated image was crumbling. She turned to me, tears streaming. You're ruining my life. I looked her dead in the eyes. No, Tara, you ruined your own life. I just made sure everyone knows. Tara's scream echoed in the living room. Her phone slipped from her hand, clattering to the floor. Comments from her followers kept pouring in, each one a nail in her crumbling facade. Mom was sobbing. Lila stared, jaw tight. I stood there, calm but burning inside. Tara's betrayal wasn't just about the money anymore. It was about her thinking she could walk all over me and get away with it. You're a monster. Tara spat, pointing at me. Her face was red, tears mixing with mascara. You posted that from my account? You humiliated me. I didn't flinch. You humiliated yourself, Tara. You stole from me. You planned it. I just made it public. She lunged for her phone, frantically trying to delete the post. Too late. Screenshots were already circulating. Her fans were turning on her. Mom tried to intervene. Ethan, was that necessary? She's your sister. I turned to her, voice steady. Mom, she stole 10 grand. My life savings. She didn't care about me. Why should I protect her lies? Mom shook her head, torn. Lila spoke up. Tara, you can't just take his money and act like it's nothing. You messed up. Tara glared at her. Stay out of this, Lila. But Lila wasn't backing down. No, you lied to me, too. You said you earned that camera money. You're not the victim here. Tara's mouth opened, then closed. She was cornered. No one was buying her act anymore. I pulled out the notebook and held it up again. This is your handwriting, Tara. You wrote, Ethan won't notice. You plan to screw me over. Own it. She didn't. Instead, she doubled down. I needed that money, okay? I'm trying to build a career. You're just a warehouse grunt with no ambition. That stung. I clawed my way up from nothing, working nights, weekends, holidays. She knew it. She just didn't care. I stepped closer. A grunt? I saved for a house while you partied. That's ambition. What you did, that's theft. The room went silent. Even Mom stopped crying. Tara's defiance cracked, just for a second. Then her phone buzzed again. She glanced at it, and her face went white. Oh no, she whispered. I didn't need to look to know what was happening. Her followers, her precious audience, were tearing her apart. Thief, one comment read. Fake influencer, said another. Her dream was imploding. I wasn't done. You're not going to Chicago, I said. The hotel's non-refunded. You paid with my card. I canceled it. Her eyes widened. You what? She shrieked. I disputed the charge, I said. The bank's investigating. You're not getting a dime of my money for your big break. She started pacing, muttering. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. Mom stood up, voice shaky. Tara, you need to apologize. Now. Tara spun on her. Apologize? For what? He's the one ruining everything. Lila scoffed. Tara, stop. You stole from him. You can't spin this. Tara's hands clenched into fists. For a moment, I thought she'd lash out physically. Instead, she grabbed her bag and stormed toward the door. I'm done with all of you, she yelled. I followed her to the door. One more thing, I said, voice cold. You're out of here. Tonight. I'm changing the locks tomorrow. She froze, hand on the doorknob. You can't kick me out, she said, but her voice wavered. I can, I said. This is my apartment. You're not on the lease. Pack your stuff and go. She turned, eyes blazing, but she saw I wasn't bluffing. She slammed the door behind her. Mom collapsed on the couch, crying harder. How did this happen? She whispered. Lila put a hand on her shoulder. Mom, Tara made her choices. I nodded. She's not my responsibility anymore. But inside, I felt hollow. She was my sister. I'd loved her, protected her, and she'd stabbed me in the back. The betrayal hurt, but I couldn't let it stop me. After Mom and Lila left, I sat alone, staring at the notebook. My plan had worked. Camera returned, trip canceled, her lies exposed. But it wasn't enough. Tara still thought she could skate by, maybe crash with friends, wait it out. I needed to make sure she faced real consequences. Not just embarrassment. Real, tangible fallout. I started planning the next step. I called Nate again. She's out, I told him. But I'm not done. She needs to learn. Nate sighed. Ethan, you got your money back. Maybe let it go? I shook my head, though he couldn't see it. She stole my future, Nate. I'm not letting her walk away clean. I hung up and opened my laptop. Time to dig deeper. Tara had secrets, and I was going to find them. Tara was gone, but the fire in my chest burned hotter. Kicking her out felt good, but it wasn't enough. She'd stolen my savings, my trust, my future, and thought she could just run to her friends and start over. I wasn't going to let her slip away that easily. She needed to face the full weight of her actions. I was done playing nice. I started digging into her digital trail. Tara's laptop, still in my apartment, was a goldmine. She hadn't logged out of anything. Email, socials, even her bank account. Sloppy. I found an email chain with her friend Becca, who'd been hyping Tara's big break online. One message caught my eye. Borrowed some cash from Ethan. He's clueless. This trip's gonna make me. My blood ran cold. She'd bragged about it. Then I found something worse. Tara had been messaging a guy named Derek, someone I'd never heard of. The texts were flirty, full of plans to meet up in Chicago. Got the hotel covered, she wrote. Can't wait to celebrate with you. My money was funding her little getaway with some random dude. The betrayal sank deeper. She wasn't just a thief, she was living a double life on my dime. I took screenshots of everything. Becca's emails, Derek's messages, her bank transactions showing my money spent on clothes and Ubers. Evidence was piling up. I wasn't sure how I'd use it yet, but I knew it was leverage. Tara's whole world was built on lies, and I was going to expose every crack. But first, I had to secure my apartment. She still had a key. I called a locksmith. Can you come tonight? I asked. The guy, Tom, said he'd be there in an hour. While I waited, I packed Tara's stuff, clothes, makeup, her influencer props, into trash bags. I wasn't cruel. I didn't damage anything, but I wanted her out of my space. Every trace of her gone. By 9 p.m., Tom had changed the locks. My apartment was mine again. Then I got a text from Lila. Tara's at Becca's, crying her eyes out. Says you're a jerk for kicking her out. I snorted. Of course, she was playing the victim. I texted back. She stole 10 grand. I've got proof. Want to see? Lila replied instantly. Send it. I sent her the screenshots, notebook, receipts, emails. A minute later, she called. Ethan, this is insane. She's been lying to everyone. I'm done with her. Lila's anger gave me an idea. Tara's friends were her safety net. If I could turn them against her, she'd have nowhere to hide. I forwarded the screenshots to Becca, adding a short message. Tara stole my life savings. This is what she did with it. Thought you should know. I hit send and waited. An hour later, Becca texted me. I had no idea. I'm so sorry, Ethan. She's out of my place tomorrow. Tara's world was shrinking fast. Her followers were trashing her online. Her family was done with her lies, and now her friends were turning. But I still wasn't satisfied. She'd taken something from me that wasn't just money. It was years of grinding, of sacrifice. I wanted her to feel that loss. So, I called the Chicago workshop organizer, pretending to be Tara's manager. I canceled her spot. She's had a family emergency. I lied. They didn't question it. By midnight, I was exhausted but wired. My phone buzzed. Tara, you're ruining everything. I know you canceled my workshop. You're evil. I didn't respond. Let her stew. She'd built this mess, brick by brick. I was just pulling the pins. But then I got another text, this time from Mom. Ethan, Tara's at our house. She's a wreck. Can we talk tomorrow? My stomach tightened. Mom was still trying to save her. I agreed to meet Mom at a diner the next morning. When I got there, she looked drained. Ethan, she's sorry, Mom said, sipping her coffee. She wants to make this right. I shook my head. She's sorry she got caught, Mom. She planned this. Look. I showed her the screenshots, Derek's messages, Becca's emails. Mom's face hardened. She's been lying to me, too, she whispered. What do I do? Let her figure it out, I said. She's not a kid. She's 25. She needs to face the consequences. Mom nodded, but I could see the pain in her eyes. Tara had always been her baby. Letting go was hard. I got it, but I wasn't backing down. Tara had crossed the line, and I was done carrying her. I left the diner feeling lighter. The trap was tightening. Back home, I checked my bank account. The refund from the camera store had hit, 9 grand back where it belonged. I exhaled, relief washing over me. But I wasn't done. Tara was at Mom's, probably spinning more lies. I needed one final move to make sure she couldn't come back from this. I opened her laptop again, ready to dig deeper. What else was she hiding? Tara's world was collapsing, but I wasn't done. Her lies had cost me more than money. They'd cost me trust, family peace, years of my life. She was at Mom's, probably weaving a sob story to dodge accountability. I wasn't letting her off the hook. My plan was in motion, but I needed one final blow to ensure she couldn't slink away and play the victim. I dove back into her laptop. Her email was a mess, hundreds of unread messages, most about her influencer gigs. Then I found it, an email from a local boutique owner, Claire, who'd hired Tara for a sponsored post. The deal was $500 for a few Instagram stories. Tara had bragged about it to me, acting like it was her big break. But the email trail showed she'd never delivered. Claire was furious, threatening to sue for the advance payment. My money, no doubt. I called Claire, keeping it professional. Hi, I'm Ethan, Tara's brother. I found some emails about your deal with her. Can we talk? Claire was skeptical, but agreed to meet at her boutique that afternoon. I brought the notebook and screenshots. When I showed her the evidence, my stolen savings, Tara's spending spree, she gasped. She told me she was investing in her brand, Claire said. I paid her up front. She ghosted me. Claire wasn't just mad. She was ready to act. I'm reporting this, she said. She signed a contract. This is fraud. I nodded. Do what you need to. I just wanted you to know the truth. Claire thanked me, promising to spread the word among other local businesses. Tara's reputation as an influencer was about to take another hit. I left the boutique feeling a grim satisfaction. Back home, I got a call from Nate. Tara's been blowing up my phone, he said. She's saying you're out to destroy her. I laughed cold. She destroyed herself, Nate. I'm just holding up a mirror. He sighed. Just be careful, man. She's desperate. Desperate was right. Tara was running out of allies. Her friends, her followers, now her clients, all turning on her. But I wasn't done tightening the screws. I checked her bank account again. She'd made another withdrawal from my card before I canceled it. A $200 clothing store purchase. I called the bank, filed another dispute, and froze her access to any linked accounts. The banker, a no-nonsense woman named Linda, was sympathetic. This sounds like identity theft, she said. We'll flag it for investigation. Identity theft. The words hit hard. My own sister, stealing my life. Then came the kicker. Lila texted me a screenshot from Tara's latest Instagram story, posted from Mom's house. It was a tearful selfie, captioned, "Betrayed by family. I'll rise above." She was still playing the victim, even after everything. My jaw clenched. I forwarded the screenshot to Claire, Becca, and a few of Tara's other friends who'd reached out to me. She's still lying, I wrote. This is who she is. By evening, Tara's phone must have been a war zone. Becca called me, voice shaking. She's been kicked out of our friend group. No one trusts her anymore. I felt a pang of guilt. Family wasn't supposed to end like this. But then I remembered her notebook. Ethan won't notice. She'd planned to bleed me dry. Any guilt vanished. I was taking my life back, no matter the cost. Mom called next, voice heavy. Tara's begging to stay with us. I don't know what to do, Ethan. I took a deep breath. Mom, she stole from me. Lied to you. Lied to everyone. If you let her stay, she'll do it again. Mom was quiet for a long time. You're right, she finally said. I'm telling her she has a week to find somewhere else. I exhaled. Mom was finally seeing Tara for who she was. That night, I sat down with a beer, my apartment quiet for the first time in weeks. The locks were changed, my money was back, and Tara's lies were unraveling. But something nagged at me. Derek, the guy from her messages. Who was he? I opened her laptop again, scrolling through her texts. One stood out. Meet me at the bar tomorrow. I need you. Sent an hour ago. My gut twisted. She was still scheming. I called Nate. You know a guy named Derek? I asked. Nate paused. Yeah, shady dude, hangs at that dive bar downtown. Why? I explained the messages. Nate whistled. Ethan, don't get involved. He's trouble. But I couldn't let it go. If Tara was meeting him, I needed to know why. Was he part of her plan? Did he know about the theft? I grabbed my keys. Time to find out. I drove to the dive bar downtown, my pulse racing. Tara was meeting Derek, and I needed answers. Was he her accomplice? Did he know about my stolen savings? The bar was a grimy hole in the wall, neon signs flickering. I spotted Tara in a corner booth, laughing with a guy. Derek, I assumed. Lean, tattooed, with a smirk that screamed trouble. My fists clenched. Time to end this. I walked over, keeping my cool. Tara saw me and froze, her drink halfway to her lips. Ethan, she squeaked. Derek raised an eyebrow. Who's this? He asked, voice oily. I ignored him, locking eyes with Tara. We need to talk. Now. She tried to laugh it off. Relax, Ethan. It's just a drink. I slid into the booth, uninvited. A drink paid with my money? Derek leaned back, sizing me up. Your brother, huh? Tara said you're a control freak. I smirked. She tell you she stole 10 grand from me? Used it for cameras, trips, and your little date here? His smirk faded. Tara's face went red. Stop lying, she snapped, but her voice shook. I pulled out my phone, showing Derek the screenshots, her notebook, the receipts, the texts. She's been lying to you too. Derek's eyes narrowed as he scrolled. This true, Tara? He asked, voice low. She stammered. I was gonna pay him back. Derek laughed, cold. You said that money was yours. You played me. He stood, tossing a crumpled bill on the table. I'm out. Tara grabbed his arm. Wait, Derek, please. He shook her off and walked out. She was alone now, just like I'd planned. The bar was quiet, eyes on us. Tara's bravado crumbled. Why are you doing this? She whispered, tears streaming. I leaned in. You stole my future, Tara. You thought I'd let it slide. I didn't. You're out of my life, out of Mom's house, out of options. She sobbed, but I felt nothing. She'd built this mess. I was just a cleanup crew. Then came the twist. A woman approached our table. Claire, the boutique owner. Ethan, I got your message, she said, glaring at Tara. I filed a fraud report today. Tara, you're done in this town. Tara's eyes widened. Claire, no, I can explain. Claire cut her off. Save it. You're blacklisted. No business will touch you now. Tara's sobs turned to wails. The bar patrons stared, some filming on their phones. I stood to leave, but Tara grabbed my sleeve. Ethan, please. I have nothing left. I looked down at her, my sister, now a stranger. You had my trust. You threw it away. Figure it out. I walked out, the bar's noise fading behind me. Outside, I exhaled, the weight lifting. My money was back, my apartment was mine, and Tara's lies were exposed to everyone who mattered. 6 months later, I'm in a new place, a small house I bought with my savings. It's modest, but it's mine. No roommates, no drama. I heard through Lila that Tara moved to a different state, crashing with a distant cousin. She's working retail, her influencer dream's dead. Mom's trying to rebuild with her, but it's strained. I don't care. I've built my life, brick by brick, and no one's tearing it down again. Here's the thing, Reddit. I got my revenge, but it cost me my sister. Was it worth it? I think so, but some nights I wonder. If your sibling betrayed you like this, would you burn it all down like I did? Or would you try to save them? What would you do in my shoes? That's the end of today's story. Did things turn out the way you thought, or were there some surprises along the way? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you haven't joined the community yet, now's the perfect time. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you're always the first to catch new stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next adventure.